Hey dudes, Sylvite Soltis here, and today I've got another memory story for you. Last time, I told about the one event that single-handedly ended my account-sharing escapades with Leica, my terrible decision to run Maraudon one afternoon in the early spring. Well, today we're going to move north a bit on my freshly obtained Only Me account, to a spooky forest zone swarming with demons. Felwood. If you enjoy this story, remember to subscribe so that you don't miss later stories. There's a lot more coming as we approach Classic, but for now, join me as I tell the tale of my bear-slaying adventures in Felwood. It was sometime around the end of my second year of high school when I headed to northern Kalimdor. I don't remember exactly what brought me to this zone in particular, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Leica telling me that there was a zone even creepier than Duskwood. I had actually visited this area once before, only to have my priest get eaten by a diseased wolf or something. But now, I was ready, right around level 48 or 49, and it was time to face this terrifying place. So, I headed over to Felwood, unsure of what the zone truly had in store. As I entered the zone, I was faced with green fel energy and spooky demonic-looking trees all around. I headed up the path, got a few quests from the camp in the southern end of the zone, and began my adventures. Now, it didn't take long for me to find a goal in this new zone, however. As I slayed some random furbolgs to the west of the campsite, I noticed I was getting reputation with a faction called the Timbermaw Hold. I had no idea what this faction was, but I had a similar feeling to the Water Pouches back in Tanaris. Something told me that I needed to work on this rep. So, I spent the next few days of my time in WoW running around the furbolg camp, killing everything in my path. It was long and extremely grindy, but eventually I was neutral with the faction. I still had no idea what or where they were, so at around 100 out of 3,000 rep into neutral, I gave up and began heading north. Now, there was a lot to see and to do in Felwood, but unfortunately, I don't remember much of what I did there, other than the furbolg grind, to be honest. One thing that I do remember clearly, though, is that around level 50, I hit a wall while leveling. No quests that I could do, and no idea where else to go. My skinning was also stagnant, somewhere around 230 to 250. So instead of using Thoughtbot like a pro, I did exactly what anyone would do in this situation. I found a nice spot in the forest with a crap ton of bears in a line and ran back and forth killing and skinning them. What, isn't that what everyone does? Yeah, so instead of finding some mobs with low health and a high XP yield, or farming something that could have yielded valuable items, I sat in Felwood for about 4 days, farming bears and skinning them. Now, to be fair, I did make quite a bit from their bones and jaws, both gray items that sold for quite a bit of gold to vendors. But, I could have farmed demons for Felcloth to craft the Felcloth set. Oh well, hindsight is 20/20, right? Anyway, I eventually reached level 52 or so while grinding the hell out of bears. And so ended the clearest of my Felwood memories. I did the Jadenar quests while here, of course, including the really long escort of the Night Elf in the cave. But at this point, my mind was all about getting to 60, so I don't really remember much about that event either. Sorry for that. However, there is one more memory that I do have that is very clear from this zone. And it again involves the furbolgs. Eventually, Sylvite had reached around level 55, and was on the northern edge of the zone, right up by the Timber Maw hold. I'd finally gotten the flight path, and things were finally getting much easier. As I ran over to the Felwood camp to farm some bear people for reputation, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. A flagged level 60 Tauron Shaman, who was nearly dead from running through the tunnel. Now, being on a PvE server, I wasn't one for PvP at all. Hell, I hated it when I got ganked whenever I was flagged, which was usually after a battleground. But this was basically a free HK. So naturally, I spammed the hell out of my Mind Blast button and boom, direct hit. Down went the Shaman, and I relished in my honorable kill. For about 5 seconds. You see, Shamans have the ability to reincarnate with a decent chunk of health, something that I, as an Alliance priest, never really knew about. As I turned to head down the mountain to get to my Felwood killing adventures, I was struck from behind by a frost shock. Confused, I turned to see that the Shaman was alive and coming for me. Well, in the words of Illidan Stormrage, I was not prepared. Within 5 seconds of being hit by that frost shock, I was dead on the ground, having been served my just desserts. I laughed about this, though, ran back to my body, and watched as he teabagged my corpse repeatedly for the next 5 minutes. Once my PvP flag had worn off, I rezzed, targeted him, and /bowed. I had found a new respect for the Shaman class, and never again would I try to gank one. Well, not in vanilla at least. I hope you enjoyed this story of my adventures in Felwood. It's a zone that I have immense love and nostalgia for because of these two particular events. The bear farming and the Shaman incident. Every time I slay bear people, I'm sent back to the spring of 2006, and the adventures that transpired in this creepy fell forest. But anyway, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Also, leave a comment letting me know of your stories about Felwood. I really look forward to reading them. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter to get updates, and check out my blog over on Blogspot for written content and guides. Finally, consider becoming one of my patrons over on Patreon, as I could really use your support going forward. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, take it easy, guys.